the music playing, or are we just in it? We're good. They're here. They see us. We're going. Good fucking times. Thank God. Ugh. I don't see that we're good. No. Put down your phone, please, so we can.
You don't tell me what to do. You just do what you do, and I'll do what I do.
I will do what I do. I want to make sure you have my full attention the way I have your full attention.
You don't have my full attention. So.
That's my point.
And
I want to make sure before we go to Area 51, we have each other's full attention.
Bro, I give you a warning. This is my final warning, bro. You keep fucking around, with your dumb shit.
Oh my God, smile a little, jeez.
No, don't.
She will be there when we're done recording.
Bro, you like to push buttons,
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Don't Be Mad podcast, your weekly dose of we're going to Area 51 to clap some alien cheeks, baby. I'm your boy Matthew, aka Lefty Lucky, and I'm joined here as always with
Jamali.
And unfortunately, Jason is not with us today. Moment of silence. No, I'm joking. He's not gone. He's on a little getaway apparently, but he is in the live chat. So tell him hello, because I know he's in there. He's watching us, I think. I haven't looked down to see if he's still in there. But it's another week, a hot one. 41 degrees Celsius, about 106 Fahrenheit for the American listeners who are out there. And luckily, I am not sweating my balls off in front of this camera. How's the week been, Jamali? How's the mental health?
I'm still sane, bro.
Yeah?
Until just a while ago when you start talking your dumb shit.
I mean, what's so important on your phone there that you can't engage?
I'm very engaged, actually.
I can't tell.
Well,
I feel like I'm in a room talking by myself, and you don't care about me.
Sometimes I think that's what you like, the sound of your own voice. So I'm going to give you that opportunity to enjoy it.
I love the sound of my own voice.
Clearly. Ray Charles, any deaf person, Helen Keller could have told you that.
Clearly, Jamali's in a peachy mood. As for me, my mental health has been up and down with one of the craziest past couple weeks that I've ever had in my fucking life. It's been quite a fucking journey, but still going through it. Once it's done, I will give you the ups and downs of everything, because I feel like, why not do this if we're not going to be authentic? Just know it's a bit of a process right now, and there's certain things I feel I shouldn't discuss until there's actually some rooted finishes to them, and I know where the path is at that point, but I'm here, I'm smiling. That's always a good sign of things. As far as the week goes, like I said, it's been ups and downs, so we're good to go.
That's good.
So, Jamali, where would you like to start, since you don't want to talk about the fact that there's millions of people ready to go to Area 51 in September? You're just not peachy to it. What should we do? What should we talk about?
Real life shit that matters, bro. You're talking about some bunch of retards who have nothing else to do.
Whoa. Let's
No, you can't tell me to what opinion
not
to
say
have.
retards.
That is retarded. Because deep down your ass ain't going nowhere close to that area. So
I never said I was going.
Well, clearly you open up the
Yeah, I'm cracking jokes, man. I'm trying to lighthearten this shit in the opening.
Well, I'm not here.
We have some heavy topics to talk about.
Nothing's heavy. I'm fat. I'm used to weight. So there's nothing for me to be lighthearted about, bro.
J Bear's ready to go, baby. That's his new nickname given to him by one of his fans.
I don't have a fan. I don't know the fuck you're talking
Jamali,
about.
You can deny it all you want. You have a fan base, and your fan base loves you because of your opinion.
Yeah,
because you're not afraid to be fucking raw and uncut, because you are unapologetically
because I'm comfortable being myself. What the
exactly.
Fuck?
And because of that, you got fucking people that anytime I ask them about the podcast, they mention you, my guy.
Well, I don't give a shit about that.
I mean, but you see, you saying that is why they fucking love you. You get that, right?
It's a waste of their love. But anyways, so I'm not looking for it.
So where do you want to start, man? Like, fuck.
Well,
you're giving me nothing. I need some enthusiasm, some energy.
You need energy, bro. You go get yourself a Red Bull or something. I'm not your source of energy, bro.
Do you want to start with the Eric Garner situation?
Well, we could start there. That's a good place to start.
Great, thank you. So we're gonna start with, I'm sure many of you have heard the statute of limitations is up on the officer who used the illegal chokehold on Eric Garner. It's been 5 years to the date that all the prosecutions had began, and since they came to zero, well, essentially, the courts decided they were going to dismiss it. There's nothing there, even though there's clear video showing this police officer used an illegal chokehold on Eric Garner while Eric Garner was pleading to take a breath of air, which ended up killing him. No incarceration, not even a loss of job, absolutely nothing. This cop essentially walks scot-free.
That's crazy.
I think it's more than crazy. I think it's fucking disgusting, ridiculous. It's one of the worst things, like to the point where you don't even take it to a trial or anything like that. Like, it's just up and gone.
I mean, it makes sense why they do it. Because, as a race, black people don't stand firm behind certain shit. We go. It's like something happened. You march, you protest, then it's back to regular shit. We have a commitment issue, and until we keep our foot on their necks long enough for them to pretty much, no pun intended, but can't breathe, but in other words, do the right thing or do what's right or justifiably punish him, you're not going to get no result, bro.
I don't want to say there hasn't been anybody keeping up or at least keeping up with. No. Listen to what I'm saying, because to say that is a little bit misinformed, because there have been groups that have been formed as far as making sure this would happen and trying to implement getting a trial, getting some type of prosecution to happen. Like, we can't say that us as a race, us as blacks haven't been doing that, because there have been many people who have been in the fight towards trying to get justice for Eric Garner. So that's honestly,
not what I'm saying. I'm not saying
to them.
No, it's not a disservice. That's because you're taking what I'm saying to a level which is what I'm not implying. I'm saying in terms of black people as the culture. Yes, there's few groups, maybe 20,000 people, but most of us ain't really doing shit. We use our time on social media for cracking jokes, being funny, doing this, doing that, supporting other shit, and when these results come, then we're shocked. You can't do that. You can't, oh, well, it happened. We have a 30-day period in which we're outraged and we do crazy shit. And then 5 years later, why is there not an uproar like if it just happened? That to tell you how much people track these things. No one really, it's for a moment. You know, feel me? Like this is okay, cool.
Oh no, I like I said, for me, based on what I've been seeing, based on not just with Eric Garner himself, but a lot of the other situations, a lot of the other black people that we know have been murdered in this type of fashion. I can agree with what you're saying as far as we kind of go for it for 30 days and leave it alone like that, because Eric Garner's name for the past 5 years has been a name that I've heard multiple times. I've seen the groups as far as what they've been trying to do as far as getting justice for him. And on top of that, I don't think seeing black people as a whole or black people within the culture enjoying themselves is a way of saying that they're not still fundamentally involved or want to see something happen justice-wise for Eric Garner. Because to say that because they're enjoying themselves, because they're maybe cracking jokes about
that's
memes,
not what I'm referring to. What I'm talking about.
But what I'm saying is, like, we're allowed to multitask.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Because what you're saying is, oh, well, we should be in mourning until justice is
I'm not saying that at all.
Well, because I'm not saying that people having fun. People, of course, it's your life. You got to move. You got to live.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show, like, when it happened, the same thing with Sean Bell, the same thing with Tamar Rice, Trayvon, Sandra Bland, you have the whole list of them.
Yeah.
In that Freddie Gray, people protest, people riot, people do all sorts of crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
And then they go back to their normal life as if none of this happened, and then something happened again, and then they go back to that outrage, then they quiet down. Then Mike Brown happened. Go back.
But even with that, with what you just said, the amount of names you just
right,
put
but
out
that's
there,
my point. Hold on a second. Let me finish my point.
No, that's great. But I'm adding to you. I'm not taking away from you. I'm adding to you right now.
Let me just finish my point. You could add later.
Your point is going to be great. Let me add to it because what I'm saying is, with the amount of names that you just mentioned and the fact that we have seen uproar for every single one.
Yeah, that's it.
No, but the fact that we've seen uproar for every single one, it shows that there is an involvement, not just in singling out one, but it's a matter of we see this continued pattern and we're showing the pattern to the masses. Now, I understand your position of saying how because it may seem we jump from one to another, that it seems like we forget one for another.
No, that's not what. Again, stop trying to interpret. If you let me say what I have to say, then you don't have to interpret it. What I'm saying is we need to, like I said in the podcast back in February, some people are only black when shit is suitable for them. That's what I'm saying, period. Right? It's you can laugh if you want.
I'm only laughing because of the conversation we had before these mics got hot.
I'm just saying, it is black when it's suitable for them. And for me, if you're looking for justice, you follow through. There's a lot of, and I'm not talking just about the individual. I'm talking about the black networks that are out there.
Yeah.
It's like you talk about it and then it's like, oh, well, on to the next thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it should be in our conversation, at least on a monthly basis or an update. We get updates when it's, but there's no pressure that is applied. No, we don't boycott shit. They boycotted Gucci for 3 days? We don't do nothing. And so now when we get these results, we're like, oh, the system is unfair. But we don't mind our fucking business as a culture, as a group of black people. We want to be in crowds all the time and be accepted by all. And this is where it gets you, essentially.
I don't agree with that.
You don't have to. I'm not looking for your
I'm not saying it's a matter of have to or not. I'm saying I don't agree with it based on the things that I've seen. And like I said, we look at situations with all the names that we've mentioned. There are groups that have been fundamentally from day one there pressuring, doing the work, the groundwork. And
groundwork?
Granted, maybe it's not from the masses of when it became a viral sensation, but there are still people that have been literally staying there from day one, grew a group of people who have been trying to put pressure on. And look, the Eric Garner situation was something that a lot of people felt there was a video there. It was clear and cut. Like this person did something that every single, the chief from NYPD said, yeah, he did an illegal hold. Like it was clear as day. He reported he did something that was illegal.
Right.
You had it on video that was illegal.
Right.
The only people who got fucked out of that was the person who took the video.
Clearly.
One of the daughters of Eric Garner, who ended up passing away during her time trying to protest the situation. And we look at it, for you to say that we have this purview of we're immediately there, but then we kind of just drift off. I don't feel like that's fair to the people who have actually been there doing it since.
Clearly, I'm not addressing them as such.
Yeah, and I get that you're saying it as a massive thing, but there's still a lot of people. And I think that maybe because you're not seeing it immediately or you're not hearing about it immediately or as often as you feel would be comfortable towards you, that's why you feel like it's not happening. It has nothing to do with me personally.
It's a common sense shit, bro.
But it's one of the things where you can look at all these other situations that have happened as well, and there's still people that are very much adamant towards trying to get justice for all the names that we just named.
Bro, again, it's not a personal thing with me. So, and I'm not discrediting those who are actually doing something. I'm talking on the wider scale. When there's certain things that go wrong with certain communities, and the only thing I could really bring to you, just to give you an example, when that Belgium, was it Belgium or Sweden, or the guy was from Switzerland. He was an artist or whatever, and he depicted Allah, right? Which is Muslims or Islam themselves don't.
There were a few situations like that.
The whole nation boycotted anything that came out of that country. Boycotted. That's what we talk about, commitment. That's what we talk about. We don't do that shit because we're too busy trying to fit in, trying to be accepted, trying to do this, trying to do that. And we don't mind our own business in the sense that we don't keep up with what's going on in our communities. We only get outraged when shit gets to a point where it's like obvious. And this is what happened. This is what happened. I can guarantee you, if this happened to any other race, it wouldn't have been going down as quiet. That's why, unfortunately, black folks get targeted. And
we know that.
Again, it's because of that. It's because of that. If we did what we were supposed to do and stand up and hold people accountable and not request, demand justice or force justice to act the way it was intended to, then we'll have better results. We're too busy.
And what I'm saying is there were people demanding it. And I get where you're saying like we needed. You're saying it's more of a numbers game of people demanding more so than what actually happened. What happened was they sat back and said, we are going to do nothing until the statute of limitations is up. And that way we wipe our hands of it. We could have been millions in the street, or we could have been the tens of thousands, the 100,000 that were there. Either way, they were like, we know how long we have to wait. That's how long we're going to wait for.
Right. And I'll give you an example.
Either way, we would have been unhappy.
No, we wouldn't have. Because people think on levels that I think are very, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but we want to sit on our hands and wait for shit to happen. Shit don't happen that way.
I don't think that's true.
It is true. Because there's a lot of ways to get people to move and do and behave in a certain way. We've seen it happen.
So for this particular situation, what do you feel should have been a bit more adamant with the people? What should they have done in order to get the immediate justice that they deserve?
Top their pockets, bro. You get a ticket, what are you going to do? Arrest everybody who don't pay their tickets? Hold out on their ass and force them to serve justice. It's what you're supposed to do. People, like we saw the bus strike did in Montgomery. They changed their shit real quick, didn't they? Their perspective, you top their pocket, you reach into that pocket and you create them, you show them that, listen, okay, you want to do what you're going to do? We're going to do what we're going to do. Lock us all up. You're going to put warrants out for us. You're going to go ahead, do it.
But you see that, essentially you're saying, okay, let's say it's a speeding ticket. I don't pay it. Technically, I've done something wrong. I'm not going to pay it. I'm still in the wrong. I don't feel that's a proper tactic, because now you're essentially saying.
So give me a proper tactic then, since that's improper.
I'm not saying that there is a proper tactic based on what the NYPD did. That's what I'm trying to say.
Technically you're saying, well, we have no choice but to accept these decisions.
No, I'm not saying we should happily accept it. I'm saying what they did was fucked up. What they did was
why were they able to do that?
But what I'm saying is they knew.
Why were they able to do that?
If we push off.
And why were they able to do that?
Because they are, especially what we know of when it comes to police officers and how they protect each other, they will find every single loophole they can possibly exploit in order to protect their own. We know that.
Okay, but why were they able to do that?
If somebody gets caught doing an illegal fracture where they get a ticket to not pay it, now they're putting themselves in danger.
And that's fine.
I don't feel like people should put themselves in danger to put out this grander message. I don't think that's correct.
For change to occur, there's going to be losses, my friend. That's the shit. That's really what it is. No one's willing to lose shit. So we're not willing to sacrifice our own. Yo, trust me, I'm so blessed that I was born in this time. Because if we were all slaves when we were born into slavery, trust me, with this mentality, we'll still be slaves.
We wouldn't have this mentality. Slaves.
But that's the problem. That's the fucking problem,
but
bro.
No, but obviously it's not even equivalencies. It's not.
It is.
It's not even close.
It is the same
because you're essentially saying we should be willing to sacrifice ourselves for this message, whereas I'm saying we should. Especially not if we've done something illegal. We know we've done something illegal. Just say, well, fuck that. I'm not going to uphold my responsibilities or take
so the man you
for the consequences that I've permitted.
But listen how oxymoronic that is.
No, because you're saying if I'm caught speeding and I get a ticket for speeding and I was clearly in the wrong, I shouldn't pay that ticket.
Right. Because the police officer who clearly was, or at least deemed by the chief of police, that he used an illegal chokehold, taking somebody's fucking life, and got no punishment for it, it's what?
I'm not saying that's okay.
But what
No,
you're
it's
saying
not
is
the same.
nonsensical.
It's not the same.
What
I'm
you're
not
saying is
that's okay.
nonsensical.
But what you're saying is because one cop did something illegal, we should all be able to do illegal things and not have repercussions for it.
That's not what I said. That is, you see, this is my point.
Or
is,
not pay the consequences of our
You
repercussions.
need to learn to listen to understand and not listen to reply.
No,
that is
that's
not what I
literally
said.
You said if we get tickets, don't pay them.
You see, this is what I said. A lot of things, and that's all you took from it.
You literally said
okay,
to fight back against them,
so
we
let
have
me
to hurt
repeat it.
their pockets.
Let me repeat it for you.
But the example you used of hurting their pockets was don't pay tickets.
Are you?
Go ahead.
If there is an infraction, or you got a fine, and this is going to benefit them because that's where the money goes to. Don't pay. They're not. What are they going to lock us all up? That's what I said.
They will.
Okay, so lock us all up.
And when they lock us all up,
right?
What happens after that?
We'll figure it out. Because at this point, nothing you do is working. We've been marching since fucking God knows when. When are you gonna stop marching?
In your plan, it's better for us all to be locked up.
Yep. Lock us all up, bro.
For us to be free and actually find legal ways or as close to probable ways to find solutions.
First of all, what the funny thing about it is that people keep saying the system is broken or
it is. We know
the system is not fucking broken.
It's fucking broken.
The system is not broken.
Is filmed doing something illegal, clearly illegal, the chief of police says is illegal, and they can hold off of doing any type of prosecution whatsoever till the statute of limitation is up. There's something wrong.
Right, clearly, because the system is working in the way it was designed. It's not broken. It's working in the way it's designed. This is what I'm talking about. A lot of black folks sit down because nowadays they can read, they can write, they can travel freely, quote unquote, freely. Well, we all good. The system is designed to oppress people in different ways. And this is exactly what it's doing. This is exactly what it is. It's not broken. The system is functioning as it was designed to. And that's the whole point.
But do you understand?
I'm not
your resolution makes zero sense because all it does is fuel the system working as it should be towards getting more of us in prison.
Because you didn't let me finish.
Okay, finish.
Because if they're gonna arrest us, they could either use the same system. Fine, routed equation. Now, what are you gonna do? Who are you gonna oppress? Right? They're gonna have to change the system. What do you mean no? This is exactly...
They won't.
Well, okay.
Because once we're gone, it's the next person in line that they deem is the lesser.
Oh, right.
That's literally what it is.
Right.
It's literally the totem pole mentality where
so then you
whoever's
know what?
at the bottom gets the worst, and then you just keep going from there.
So then this is what you're suggesting is what? What's your suggestion? Actually, let me ask you.
That wasn't my suggestion.
No, let me ask you.
I'm not suggesting anything.
So then don't knock what I'm suggesting. Because if you ain't suggesting
because what you're suggesting
if you're not suggesting anything, then don't knock what I'm suggesting. No, I don't want to hear nothing.
I can easily knock what you're suggesting because your suggestion
so then what's your solution?
We should all sacrifice ourselves for this greater good that you're clearly saying we can achieve based on what the system is. That makes no sense.
I never said we can't achieve it. I never said that.
You're saying we should all literally just say fuck what they're doing, throw us all in jail if you have to, but we're not going to bow down to anything that you're saying. If they throw us all in jail, that's where they want us, based on what you're saying of how the system works. So if we're all in jail, they've got what they accomplished. They've done what they wanted to do.
This is when you think on a small level basis.
No, I'm basically saying what you're saying.
No, you're not saying what the fuck I'm saying. Don't say that shit, bro. You're not speaking for me. I can speak for my motherfucking self.
Then say it clearly.
No, seriously, before we continue, stop saying this is what I'm saying.
Clarify it then.
Say this is what the
I'm basically speaking it based on how I'm understanding what you're saying.
Are you going to let me talk or are you going to just keep talking?
Because you're getting agitated and all I'm doing is trying to understand
because you're not letting me fucking speak, bro.
Then speak.
Okay, so then shut the fuck up.
Why are you so mad?
Because you're cutting me off and then you're telling me this is what you're saying. Don't say what I'm saying, bro.
Bro, we're having a conversation.
We're having a conversation, but it's getting irritating right now because this is the third time I have to tell you.
I don't get why it's getting irritating. We're just having a conversation.
Right, because this is the third time I have to tell you, stop saying this is what I'm saying.
I'm trying
if you
to
don't
understand.
if you don't understand something,
I'm literally telling you I'm trying to understand.
you clearly don't understand that. You need to shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Why are you so pissed off right now?
Because
Dude,
you're
relax.
cutting me off every fucking time, bro. It's annoying. I can't have a conversation with someone who listens just to reply and not listens to understand what the fuck I'm saying. You're too busy trying to find answers in your head to reply to what I'm saying rather than understand what the fuck I'm saying. And if you don't understand, say you don't understand. But don't try to interpret.
Work, bro.
But no, that's not how conversation work, bro. That's not how, maybe for you, but for me, it's not. If I don't understand something somebody's telling me, I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, I don't get it.
But we're talking. If I'm giving you a reply based on what you said and I'm wrong, just
No.
give me the reply.
You're not giving me a reply based on what I'm saying. You keep using the same fucking sentences. This is what you're saying.
That's what
This
you
is
think.
what you said. This is what you said. This is what you said.
think.
It's not. I heard you. Want me to? You could rewind the tape after you're done.
No, we
You can
can.
fucking hear yourself saying it.
Go ahead, man. Say what you were going to say.
What I'm saying is the system is working the way it's designed to work.
Mm-hmm.
It's not designed to imprison every black person. That's a burden on the system. It will not work. So they will have to. So as much as you're saying this is what they want for all of us to end up in jail, eventually there's a maximum, there's a plateau. It will fucking break. You can't sustain that. Right? They won't be able to sustain it. They'll then have to change their model. That's all I'm saying. And at the end of the day, we've walked enough time. We've protested enough time. We've done everything in this whole, I guess, capacity of what we've tried. Nothing has worked. Freddie Gray didn't get justice. Mike Brown didn't get justice. Trayvon didn't get justice. Tamar Rice didn't get justice. Sean Bell didn't get justice. I mean, Sandra Bland didn't get justice. So what if you can tell me a solution or something you could suggest that should be done? You have no grounds on knocking what I'm suggesting. Because to me, if you don't bring food on the fucking table, you shouldn't be eating. And this is how I see it.
Okay.
Point blank, period.
So based on that, I think you're wrong because I don't think that because you have a suggestion and mine isn't clear and concise at the moment.
You said you don't have a suggestion.
Hold on. Because you have your suggestion of we should be willing to sacrifice ourselves till they get the maximum. And at that point, they have to make a change. I don't feel like that's a good way to go because I don't feel like we should be forced to make a change based on sacrificing ourselves to do it. I don't think that's okay. I don't think black lives should be put to the fucking slaughter or put to the fucking cage in order to get what we want. That, to me, that's not worth it. The second we have to start saying, all right, you get picked off, you get picked off, you get picked off, but the rest of us will be okay, that's wrong. That's what I'm saying about your suggestion. That's literally all I'm saying about your suggestion, which, by the way, you, for the first time, said about your once we get to a maximum, then they're going to have to change the system. That's the one time you said it.
Because you keep cutting me off every single time.
That's the one time you said it. But either way, even if you had said it, I would still have this same stance of we should not need to sacrifice ourselves in order to get to a point where we are respected and have our rights respected. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's a solution. And even if I don't have the solution for what we should do right now, your suggestion, I can clearly be against.
Clearly. Of course. It's easy.
That simple.
Right. It's easier to say something when you have nothing else.
Yes,
to
it's
produce.
easy for me to say I don't want black lives to be sacrificed.
Well, so what are they doing when they die in the streets?
They're
Matthew?
murdering us.
So they're being sacrificed. They're not sacrificed. They're murdering people.
Yes.
So-
Big difference between us willingly giving ourselves up and saying this is for a greater cause that we don't even know is going to come compared to the fucked up heinous shit that they have been doing to us.
Oh, Lord.
But I'm not willing to sacrifice black lives for that. I'm not. I would rather
You should
not
say
be
you're not
sacrificed.
willing to sacrifice your fucking self, bro.
Look,
That's what you should say.
I can clearly say I'm not willing to sacrifice my life, and I'm not willing to see any other black lives be sacrificed. That's literally what I'm saying.
Well, that's good for you.
That is good for me because that's my stance. I don't want to see black people literally give themselves up for something that they don't even know is actually going to come.
Right.
I don't feel that's right.
If the slaves had the same fucking mentality, we would have still be picking cotton. That's the fucking point.
But guess what?
We're not. We had people who were willing
We
to
became freed
because people
because
were willing to sacrifice their
ran,
future. No, they
people
were willing
ran,
to
people
sacrifice their
fought,
future for
but
the
it still came to the government to change laws.
because they're forced to. That's the whole fucking point, bro. They were forced to.
And what I'm saying is where we are today,
We're not forcing them shit.
I'm still not in a position where I feel comfortable saying, yeah,
Of
I
course
would rather.
you don't, bro.
Of course, I'm saying it. I'm saying
so
I
then-
don't feel comfortable saying I want black lives to be sacrificed to get there. No, I don't. Because I don't want to see black lives go down.
It's not about a black life being sacrificed, bro. This is the whole point. You're wording it in a way that you got to realize in life, if the slaves had the same mindset, I keep repeating it to you so you could get it.
You keep saying sacrifice, though. You said sacrifice. We have to be willing to sacrifice, is what you said.
But we have to be. There's nothing wrong with sacrificing. That's what we
Not
get.
their lives. I'm not okay with sacrificing their lives. I'm sorry.
Right. So how else do we advance as a
Find
people?
another way. I am not.
How did we advance?
Like I said.
Let me ask you a question. How did we advance from slavery to where we're
I'm
at now?
saying it as clear as possible, regardless of what other hypothetical or rhetoric you
It's
want to
not a
bring up.
hypothetical. Ask your question.
I am not comfortable, and I do not approve of sacrificing black lives for whatever greater good that we do not know will even happen.
But we should sit here, since we know we get murdered, just sit here and just wait like waiting ducks to get shot.
I didn't say that either.
Well, if you're not providing an alternative, you're literally saying then we should just continue doing what we're doing.
The only way I can say I don't like your idea
No,
is if
that's
I have
not
a
what-
better one.
You
just said if I'm not providing an alternative.
If you're not providing an alternative, I just clearly said it. You're suggesting because you're
No.
Could you shut the fuck up and let me finish my sentence?
Finish it.
If you're not providing an alternative, right? Because you're like there's no solution you can really give, then you're pretty much saying we should just continue doing what we're doing.
No.
So then what? So we're not.
Did I say stay the course?
So then what should we do?
I told you. I literally just said, I don't have the clear-cut solution right now, but I do not like your suggestion.
Bro, it's not my suggestion. I could get you don't like my suggestion. What I'm asking you...
What am I not being clear about here?
You're not being clear because what you're saying is idiotic.
How?
Because if you're saying, okay, well, I'm not up for this suggestion, and I respect that. You're entitled to that.
Yeah.
You're saying that we're going about it the wrong way, right?
No, I'm saying where we are right now, something needs to change. So what you're bringing up, I don't like.
Okay, fine. That's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so let's remove what I brought up, right? Let's keep it at what it is, at bay. So right now, we're being picked off as a black men, predominantly, like waiting ducks. What do we do to bring about the change? Because what we're doing right now, marching, protesting, burning down our own communities, is clearly not effective. There's no pressure to bring these people to justice. So clearly, if you're saying that this needs a change, what do you suggest?
And I think I'm saying this for the 6th or 7th time. I do not have the clear-cut solution for what we should do.
So what need to change? Because you said you clearly just said there need to be a change. What need to be changed?
Jamali, you literally just sat here and said, if you don't know, say you don't know. I'm literally telling you, I don't have the solution.
I'm not asking you a
solution. But I
solution.
don't like what we are right now.
Okay, what don't
That's
you like?
literally me saying I don't know.
So what don't you like?
Bro.
What don't you like?
I don't like the fact that we've had people doing the protests, being in the marches, doing all that stuff, and we still have the system in a place where they can sit back and wait for 5 years when they know the statute of limitations is up so that they don't have to do a thing. I don't like that.
Okay, cool.
I don't like that.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that. I've said it multiple times.
Okay.
But I don't have the clear-cut solution or even the first steps of what we should do. I just think what we have done isn't working. We know it's not working clearly based on what has happened with this Eric Garner situation.
So let me put this forth. So based on, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, from what I understand what you're saying is you don't like the fact that the system or the police departments could manipulate the system to the point where they could literally wait out a situation so where to the point where it could get dismissed.
Of course.
Right. So, in other words, what needs to change is that the police department should not be able to have that type of power.
That's one thing, yes.
And how do we how we know how things could change, right? So power is given to people.
The biggest way things can change, obviously, is through laws. That's one of the biggest ways where things can get changed. That's something I even mentioned earlier. Laws, changing laws, affecting laws is one of the ways that you can get change to happen.
And how do you change laws?
It goes through Congress, it goes through the House, it goes through Senate, it's things like that. But even with knowing laws have to be the change, it has to be people who are willing to put those bills forward, willing to put those laws forward. And
so you think someone's just going to wake up and write a bill?
I'd never said that. I've never once said that,
bro,
which is why I've constantly said
at this point,
don't have the clear-cut answer because we know.
So then I stand with my point. If you don't have a clear-cut answer.
I'm telling you shouldn't be standing with your point. But what I'm saying is for you to say, because I don't have a clear-cut answer, I'm null and void.
Yeah, your voice is useless to me at this point.
Stupid because
no, it's not.
I can disagree with you.
This is the whole point.
The same way you disagree with me not having a solution, I can disagree with your solution and say, I don't think that's the right course of action.
Right. Clearly, it's easy to say that when you have nothing to suggest.
I could have something to suggest and still say, I don't agree with your solution.
Right. I would respect someone more with that approach.
Whether you respect them more or not doesn't change the fact that
I think this is the reason
you brought up something
as a black man,
don't like
we are where we're at. Because we have lost our sense of value.
Wrong.
We don't know where to stand.
Wrong.
We want to stand for every motherfucking thing but ourselves.
Wrong.
And that's my point. And
Wrong.
I don't give a fuck what you.
Wrong.
I'm
because
not wrong.
You're saying I don't have value because I'm not willing to leave.
I'm not
on
wrong. I never
your
said
solution.
You're personalizing it. That's your problem.
This is literally a conversation between me and you. So yes, I am personalizing.
I said black men.
What I'm saying is, you can say black men. Good for you. I'm proud of you. You said black man. But what I'm saying is, you are saying because I don't have.
If you feel some type of way by what I said,
my own, then yours is above whatever.
I feel
feeling
that way, yes.
I have towards your
absolutely.
Your stance.
That's how I feel. Yes,
I can disagree with your stance fundamentally.
I don't care what you disagree.
Even if I don't have a counterpoint.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I have no. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that.
Your favorite food is
there's something
pizza,
wrong with that.
And I say, oh, that's not my favorite, but I don't have a counter to it.
That's not the same shit, bro.
But what I'm saying is, you're allowed to have your stance, and I'm allowed to say I don't agree with that.
No.
Even if I don't have a position that is counter to yours.
That's not the.
But that's literally what you're doing. You're saying because I don't have a solution.
From a competitive perspective,
you've literally sat here multiple times and said you don't have a solution.
You don't have something.
So for you to put down my solution is dumb.
That's exactly what I said.
Exactly.
That's exactly
so how are you saying breaking down what you just said is wrong?
No. Your pizza analogy is bullshit.
Okay, fine. My pizza analogy is bullshit, but the point still stands. Where you have your solution, good for you. I'm not saying your solution is complete dog shit, but what I'm saying is I don't fundamentally agree with it. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And because I don't have a solution of my own that's grander and something that you can.
It's not grander. I'm not looking for grander.
Look through. You're saying, well, because you don't have a point, then anything you're saying is null and void.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
No,
because
that's how I feel.
Anytime laws are made, someone brings a law to the table. I don't have to have a counter law to say if I agree with this law or not.
Yeah, but again, you keep talking about laws. Laws are changed because what? The population forced those laws to be changed.
No, I'm using the law analogy to talk about the fact that I can disagree with your point, even if I don't have.
And I'm saying to you is laws are not changed because somebody woke up out of their bed and come up with this idea because everything was peace and tranquil.
It seems like you're replying without listening right now.
No, because I'm tired of having this fucking back and forth conversation. Because at this point, you could say whatever you want. I don't give a fuck.
You literally were the one who started this back and forth.
No, I didn't. I said what I had to say, and then you opposed.
I said I oppose it, and then all of a sudden
how did I start the back and forth?
You were offended at the fact that I didn't agree with you with having a counterpoint.
I said what I said. I think I will repeat
you
it again
said
for
what you said. Hey, we can rewind it.
We could, and I'll repeat it again.
Please.
If you're at the dinner table and you didn't put no food on the table,
don't use analogies right now.
That's what I
said.
said.
Say what you said.
That's what the fuck I said. You don't come to a dinner table with no food and expect to eat. That's what the fuck I said. I'm repeating it.
So you're saying going to a dinner party without food is the same as me disagreeing with your solution?
I said dinner table.
Me going to the dinner table without food is the same as me disagreeing with your opinion. Is that what you're saying?
And not having something to provide alternatively, yes. Essentially, that's what I'm saying.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, I'm glad you know now.
But it's wrong.
Well, the way you are is wrong, too. It's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you're doing is wrong.
No, it's what I'm doing is pretty much normal.
It's
having
wrong.
a conversation.
Of course, because you do everything normal. That's the whole point.
No, I do everything correctly.
Of course. I'm sure you do a lot of things.
Want to talk about Donald Trump now?
Yeah, you can talk about Trump. That's your people's, man.
That's my people? Tyler, did you hear this?
Of course. Because you act just the way they want you to act.
Donald Trump is my people's, Tyler. Oh, it's amazing, right?
It is your people's, bro.
Right now, anyways. So I'm sure many of you have heard about the tweets that Donald Trump put out against many of our women of color congresswomen, essentially telling them that if they don't like America and the way America's going, that they should essentially go back to the countries that they came from, which anybody who's a person of color or anybody who is an immigrant and has heard this line, it knows it to be a very discriminatory, racist rhetoric line to be used against you, essentially saying that you don't belong here, you're not from here, you shouldn't be here. It's a very derogatory term, essentially, to tell any person of color to go back where they come from. And rightfully so, there has been a lot of uproar against Trump. But the one thing about this whole situation I feel a lot of people are missing is the fact that you have powerful women in Congress who are American citizens, who have been doing a great job as far as their positions towards maintaining and even bringing formal change to the American population, to the American populace, for a, let it be cliche, make America great again type of metaphor. But the one thing a lot of people are missing in this argument is that very line in itself. Trump came into the Senate race back in 2016, and he used Make America Great Again. He went in there with this idea that where America isn't good, and it needs to be changed. It needs to be changed for the better. And now he's using what these women are doing as far as wanting to make change to make America put in a position that's good for everyone as this patriotism, symbolism that they don't love America and what they stand for is against America. But isn't that exactly what he did when he was running for office? Isn't that the exact thing that he prompted his whole campaign on, was that where America isn't good and that we need to make it better? Yet now where he stands, he's acting as if anybody who wants to make any improvements to America doesn't love America and should go back to where they come from. How do you feel about that?
So that's not what he based his campaign on.
Make America great again?
Again is the big, to me, again means a lot. Again means that it was once great.
Yeah.
And it has lost its luster and needs to get great again.
Yeah. Doesn't that imply change? If you're saying make it great again, it means where we are isn't great, so we have to change it back to what it was.
Exactly.
Okay, so that means change.
Right.
So if these congresswomen are trying to enact laws and reforms that will change the course of America for the good,
right,
isn't that essentially change?
It is change, but you could regress and you could progress. Those are two things, and those are change.
Of course.
Right. So Donald Trump want to regress America to get to that great again aspect. Mm-hmm. These women wants to progress. So they're counterproductive to his movement. So they're not saying the same shit. Well, and this is where he has an issue with it, right? Because Donald Trump don't want it to be where everybody has equal opportunity, which I don't think the
Oh,
system.
of course not. We know for a fact.
And
that's not what he
therefore,
wants.
for in his mind, I'm sure there's already too many people with opportunity that shouldn't have based on his standards. So it's not the same thing. Like this guy clearly wants, I don't know, some level of oppression to be reestablished, or well, slave oppression.
Yeah.
Because, that's just people like that. But I find it ironic. And
It is ironic.
myself,
That's literally what it's a giant piece of irony.
and it's funny how, and again, I'm not saying all white people feel this way, but the few times I was told this, and we're in Montreal, we're by white folks.
Oh, Quebecois, especially.
Yeah. Go back where you come from. Retour dans votre
Oh,
pays.
I've had the go back where you come from. This is a French country, which, no, it's not. It's literally an English and French country if we're going to be talking about Canada, but they were specifically speaking on Quebec as a French country.
Well, Quebec has its own. Quebec could operate in a way that most province can't.
Yeah. But just saying, like, when those rhetorics were thrown at me, it was more of like, because I'm here in Quebec.
I always find it ironic that people choose to say these things. And the reason why I find it ironic is because, well, in this case, three out of those Senate leaders, right? Senate representative are actually born Americans.
Yeah. Born
Only
Americans,
one of them is actually an immigrant, so to speak.
Legal. Documented fully.
Document. I hate that word.
Well, no,
Oh my
because
God.
a lot of people say like they're legal or illegal. No, it's undocumented and documented.
She's a naturalized citizen.
Which means she's documented.
Well, you can't be a naturalized citizen any other way. Well, you could technically.
That's my point. You say undocumented.
Well, you
documented.
technically can if you
Marriage.
follow. No, you follow Moorish laws.
That
It
too.
would allow you, but I'm not here to get into that conversation.
Yeah, that's a whole nother.
That's something whatever. But the case in point is, I had this conversation a couple months, maybe about a year ago, actually, back, that we should go back to our countries. Donald Trump is a first-generation immigrant,
Oh, we know that.
right? His mother's from Ireland, I believe.
I don't know what his.
His mother's from Ireland. I'm 100%.
I don't know what his ancestry is.
I'm sure his mother is from Ireland. He should go back there too if he don't like what America has become, because technically he's no further advanced or in a position. He's not second, third. In fact, some of these black Congress representative probably has more generational ties to America than he does.
Oh, of course.
And I find it funny because like most black people, or most immigrants who are told go back to their country, could go back. The French people in Quebec who tell me to go back to my country can't go back to France. So inadvertently, I think they're just mad at the fact that
They don't even know where in France they're from.
I could go back to my native country and feel
Hey,
welcome.
man, I may go back to Barbados, man. Fuck it.
These fuckers go back to their country and they're tourists. They're just mad that they don't have a place to call home, bro. Because America is not theirs.
It's never been there.
It's never been theirs.
It's stolen land.
It's always funny because, like, it's like Christopher Columbus discovered America. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to my neighbor's house and just said I discovered it. It becomes mine.
Oh, it's my house now.
Idiotic. I think it's stupid. I think Donald Trump at this point, we know he does shit for clout. He does shit for reaction. I just think at this point, I mean, how much more of his ass he can literally show?
Well, look, Donald Trump has always been his best own PR stunt. Like his best stunt, his own, like anything PR related, Donald Trump has been the best at when he does it himself. We know this for a fact because anytime you've seen like the series of tweets that actually have proper collegiate English on it, you're like, that wasn't him. This makes absolutely no sense to anything he's actually spewed. And it actually makes you scratch your head because you're just kind of like, what is the angle with this? And then you actually kind of dissect it to figure out what's the connection to this series of tweets compared to what's actually happening in the last 24 to 48 hours.
I just think it's, me personally, I think it's distasteful.
Disgusting.
I think it's ironic that his party members, even though they have, some of them have spoken out against it.
Not enough though.
And We shouldn't talk about enough. But that's because based on our previous conversation, that doesn't seem to work. But anyways, they don't. I feel like at this point, this is why I have a problem with most of this issue. Is because it's circular. It happens too frequently, and we're having the same conversation over and over and over and over, and nothing seems to progressively change at all. We're constantly, I feel like in some ways, we're constantly trying to prove our worth to people who don't see us they see us as worthless.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the business anymore of dispersing energy to that.
Oh, of course
I'm not going to force somebody to see me the way I see myself.
Look, at a certain point, you got to be unapologetically you. And I think that's something that, like, we've heard that term many times, but I mean, these women, these congresswomen have been unapologetically themselves. They have unapologetically gone for the things that they feel have been put on the back burner for far too long, things that need to be put forward to not just progress people of color, but Americans as a whole. And for those reasons, you have this backlash that he's coming with where he's like, oh, you literally want to change and I'm using the air quotes, the foundations of America. Why don't you go back to your countries and fix them before you fix ours? Like, that's literally his way of just essentially dismissing the real and honest things that they're bringing to the table.
Oh, man. Can you repeat what you just said?
What?
Just repeat what he said.
Which part?
He said that they're here to change the foundation of America.
Yeah.
Right? It ties into a previous conversation. The system is not broken. It's working the way it's supposed to work. Mm-hmm. And these people are here to challenge that.
Yes.
To change the way the system is. Change a system. We don't need a change in the system. We need a new system.
Of course.
Right? People need to remember, when this system was built, as a black person, you were worth what? A third of a man. Mm-hmm. Right? Until we don't operate on that system anymore, we will always be seen as lesser than.
And how are they trying to seek this change of the system?
Well, it bringing equal opportunities to their respective
They're doing it through laws.
States.
They're trying to change laws.
Yes, because people are uproar against it. People are making their constituencies are making them, forcing them to do it. So again, it's not their changing laws. The people are forcing them to do that.
No, they came in knowing what they wanted to put forward, and they're trying to change laws to make it happen, which is what I said.
That's not
sacrifice. Hey, you said let's go back to last conversation.
I never said let's go back to last conversation.
You literally brought it up.
You proved to me that you're just listening to reply.
You literally said going back to the last conversation.
I said,
and I said the best
I never said we are going back. I said
the most probable way to do it is through laws.
And I have always said
these women are trying to do it through laws.
Again, and as I said, laws are not changed by one individual's idea. It's changed by public, the way the public react to a situation or situations or conditions, force, government represent.
House and Senate.
Could you shut the fuck up and let me talk? Because you're going to piss me off again, bro.
Okay.
Because I listen to you.
Okay.
And I know you think this is great for the fucking podcast, but this is getting personal now.
How?
And I'm really being fucking serious.
I thought you said you weren't being personal.
Now I'm being personal because now this is not funny no more.
What? I'm not.
This is not being funny no more. If we're going to have a discussion, bro. Yeah, so then you should let me speak.
I'm letting you.
Right?
You keep trailing off. I don't know why.
As I said, these people are not changing laws. I'm not giving credit to no fucking politician. People have to provoke change for these politicians to come up with ideas and new laws. That's the structure. We're not, there's no praises going on no motherfucking politician. Because politicians don't change shit, bro. They change it to benefit themselves. And unless you're going to change the whole system, it's all for you, baby. That's how I see it.
So you feel these four women that are going in there and essentially fighting for, and I'll air quote again, fighting for the people, are doing it for themselves and not actually for the American
No,
populace?
that's not what I said. I said they're there to challenge. They don't want to fix the system.
You
they want
just said politicians
again
change laws for themselves.
Yes. If you didn't understand, so let me clarify again. The politician was not referring to the four women.
You should have clarified that.
Nor is it referring to.
They are technically.
Nor is it referring to anybody in specific. It's referring to most people in the latter history who occupies this position were, for the large majority, were there for self. They weren't there for the greater good of people. We could count on our hands how many politicians really went in there and was for the people. That's what I'm referring to when I say politician. I'm not referring to those four women. I personally don't really follow them as close as maybe I should to know what they stand and where they're about. So I'm not going to discredit anything they're doing. What I could say, however, they're there to represent their constituencies.
Of course.
And therefore, their changes are not based on their ideology. It's based on what their constituency needs or what they see or what has been discussed within their areas. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to give them credit for whatever they're putting forth because it's not just their ideas. It's coming from the global, the population of that area and pretty much of America. So
well, I will say this based on the fact that like AOC, Ilhan Omar, like I've followed those two specifically very closely before they became congresswomen, like how they were trying to essentially get into Washington. The rhetoric, the plans, the strategies that they are doing now are strategies that they brought up before they had the public on their side. Like, it's not like they just came up today and like they're doing it. Like they've been on their path and they've been on their strategies for a very long time, and they've used that to gain their populace. They've used that to gain their popularity, so to speak. And now they're in a position where the things that from day one they have been saying they want to implement, they want to do once they get into Washington, once they become congresswomen, they're still going with. So based on that alone, I can say these women haven't essentially just said, what do my people want? That's what I'm going to do. Like, they came with clear-cut plans, and they presented those plans to the people, and that's why the people backed them. Because they were like, these are plans that we can support. These are plans that we feel are actually good for us and plans that will work for us. That's why we're going to back them. It wasn't, hey, what do you need? Oh, that's what you want? That's what you want? It wasn't a pandering. It really wasn't.
So,
they came with clear-cut plans, and that's how they
based
got
on their constituencies. They had to have looked at what's going on in their communities to come up with these fucking
Of course,
plans.
you can look at stats.
So
you
that's
can look
my
at
point.
but no, that's not, because them looking at statistics, them studying what the population, let's say for AOC in the Bronx, is going through, and for Ilhan Omar, what's happening in Minnesota, for them to literally do the research, see what's happening with the population, whether it's through the economy, the education, the healthcare, and then make plans that they present to them and say, hey, if I get in, this is what I can do for you because I've looked at what is happening.
Identifying their needs, and
exactly.
needs are.
But how does any politician get into a position of power if they don't identify the needs of the people without the people knowing that they are the needs? Because a lot of times when it comes to politicians...
You should be a politician because you talk in circles very well.
No, but a lot of times with politicians, what happens? They get in a position of power, as you were saying, and it's more a matter of, you want more money? I'm going to raise minimum wage. They don't say how much they're going to raise it. They don't say how they're going to be able to do it. They just say they're going to do it. Whereas these women came to the people with a plan. I've looked at the infrastructure. I've looked at the numbers. This is what we can do if we take from here. This is what we could do if we shift this. Mm-hmm. They didn't just show up saying, I want to do this and I'm going to do it. Like, they had clear-cut plans, which is why they're in the position they are right now.
Right.
That's what I'm saying when it comes to them. And like you said, you didn't follow them. You don't follow them. You don't really know how they got to where they are. As somebody who's followed at least two of them closely, I've seen what they've done and how they got to their position. That's why I can, at least in their defense, say they did this.
Right. All praises to these two women, these two politicians. Very nonsensical. But anyways.
I mean, I don't know how it's nonsensical, but
it is nonsensical. But I'm not here. I'm tired of arguing. Because
I didn't think we were arguing.
Oh, it is. It's because to me, you're just talking in circles, bro. That's just how I see it.
I don't know how I'm talking in circles. I just gave you an explanation of how those women got to where they are right now.
Right. They came up with a master plan presented to the populace, and the populace says, we second it, and that's it. That's what you're saying. That's what I understood, at least, from what you said.
I mean, if that's what you understood, is there a problem with that?
Yeah, that's a problem.
How?
Because what I'm saying, and this is, I want this to be very clear, and I'm going to ask you now to allow me to stop speaking before you say anything. What I'm saying is, as a population, a group of people, and it be it black, white, whatever, if you want to effect change, changes come from the bottom up. It doesn't happen from the top down. Right? So the bottom has to really revolt. They gotta be crazy. I'm telling you. They have to be willing to sacrifice, take extreme measures in some cases to provoke the change that is required for them to have an equal stepping ground, so to speak, regardless of the issue. Change don't happen because somebody woke up and be like, oh shit, this needs to be this way. I'm going to write a law. I'm going to sit down here today and write a law. I'm going to go in front of Congress because I'm a Congress person and present it. No, the people have to request this. The people have to be there. Whether you come up with a master plan, and I guess essentially where I'm trying to go with it is that this has to start from the people. It doesn't start from these politicians. And I'm not saying that they're not doing great work. It's good that they devoted their life and their time to do and come up with plans. But these plans are not provoked just by a dream they had. It's provoked by the people, whether they represent them or whether they were once a part of that group, and they see and they understand and they're using their intelligence. But again, it comes from the people. That's all I'm saying.
You're absolutely correct. And as I said, these congresswomen, the two that I specifically pointed out, did their research, came up with plans, presented it to the people, and the people said, we want you in.
Well,
so
I mean,
if you think that's some fairy tale bullshit,
I don't think of fairy tale. I'm not saying that they don't have the support.
So be it.
No, what I'm not disputing they don't have the support of their community. I've never once disputed that.
But you're saying it comes from the people? Yes,
of course.
It came from the people.
Yeah.
It came from the statistics that they researched and made plans from because of what the people were
And I'm
going
sure
through.
it came from further conversation and other stuff. It's not just
I'm not
from
saying
statistics.
I'm not saying there wasn't conversation.
Because the way I'm understanding what you're saying is their positioning is solely based on the hard work they have done, and it's all about they. And I'm not of the business of giving politicians, because a lot of them are slick talkers, man. We see it. Barack was a great slick talker. He talked his way twice, and we see what he has done. Right?
What did he do?
Nothing. Nothing. Feel me? Like when it comes, at least when
I'm
it comes
not saying
to,
I feel you.
when it comes to the black populace, he has done shit. And I could give you numerous examples as to where I feel that he could have done better and chose not to.
Done better specifically for black people?
Yes, you're damn right. That's who I'm looking out for. Black folk. That's what we have in the conversation about.
He is the president of the United States of America.
And black people.
The president.
I'm not saying he's supposed to do something
the
exclusive.
Black
Again,
American populace.
That's not what I'm saying. So stop using rhetorics to try to fucking say what I'm saying.
Clarify, please. Thank
What
you.
I'm saying is he has done things for specific groups of people. He has. He has made laws for specific groups of people.
He did nothing for blacks?
Nothing, no. What has he done?
No, if you say he's
No, I'm
done
asking
nothing,
you a question now.
Hey,
From my
if
perspective,
you're
I don't think
saying
he did.
he's done nothing, then I'm inclined to trust your opinion.
I think this is exactly what I'm talking
I
about.
don't want to argue.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't want to argue, Jamali.
I don't give a fuck what you want to do. I'm not looking for an argument. I'm just stating my point. You're trying to challenge me on my point.
I'm
So
not
if
challenging
Yes,
you.
you are. You are. By making, oh, well, he's not the president of Black America. I would never fucking said that. So when you're fucking making these dumb fucking comments, again,
You're getting very vulgar.
yes, because you're doing dumb shit and you're provoking me. I am not in the business of being provoked, bro.
I'm not provoking you.
I'm
just speaking calmly.
you again, bro. If you don't want us to end up on a bad terms, bro, I'm asking you politely.
I'm not doing
for
anything.
the umpteenth time. If you're gonna do this because you think this shit gives you views, and this is what you're trying to do, bro. I'm not the one to be tampered with because I don't give a fuck. Like straight up,
just not trying to argue.
right? Because you don't want to argue because you know exactly what I'm saying. This is exactly the type of coonery that keep black folks the way it is.
Whoa,
Yeah, you go, whoa. Right,
language.
because the moment, if I was to say something, it's not language, it's the fact. A lot of y'all, you guys are, this is why I'm not willing to sacrifice. Thank God we didn't have to depend on your ass to get out of slavery because black folks would have still been slaves.
Oh, thank God for that.
Because this
Thank
is
God
exactly.
you didn't have to depend on me in slavery. You are absolutely right. Thank God for that.
It's true. It is. Because this is exactly what it is. You like to say things and you know exactly what you're doing. But I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, please, because I don't want to argue with you.
Of course you don't.
I don't.
You don't.
Any last thoughts, Jamali?
I have none.
That's good. Well, guys, that was another episode of the Don't Be Mad podcast. Thank you all for tuning in on the live stream. For everybody who's listening on Apple Music, or is it iTunes now, or is it podcast? I don't know. They keep changing it every other week. I don't know what the fuck it is. If you're listening on your Apple device, thank you for tuning in. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you as well. Google Play, thank you for joining in. This is Don't Be Mad podcast. You can reach us, as always, Instagram and Twitter, Don't Be Mad Pod, or on Facebook, Don't Be Mad Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Share, tell your friends, tell your pets, tell your enemies. This is the Don't Be Mad Podcast. Peace.